Hello, my friends. It's your good pal, Mr. C. A brief review of something we talked about at the beginning of the class, which seems like long ago, but actually only about 8 weeks ago. What is a political ideology? Political ideologies are a set of values, beliefs about government, politics, public policy, the role of government, how big government should be, what government should do, what government shouldn't do. It is a clear set, and it is a clear set that can be identifiable. Socialism is a political ideology. Fascism is a political ideology. Liberalism and conservatism are political ideologies. And in the United States, the two political ideologies that have the most sway in politics are liberals and conservatives, the left and the right. As a general rule, there are certain things that liberals believe and certain things that conservatives believe, but they are generally, if you put them in a table like this, they're oversimplified. But as a general rule, liberals have more faith and more belief in the power of the federal government to make a level playing field for everybody who needs it. Generally, liberals believe in government action. They believe that government should be active in helping achieve civil rights, equal opportunity, equality for all. Conservatives are generally skeptical of the federal government, would like more power to the states and local government, would like more power to the people themselves. Conservatives believe in individualism, an opportunity, and it's not necessarily that that liberals disagree with them on all of this, but for the most part, the easiest way to kind of simplify it in your head is government interaction, particularly in the economy, is something a liberal would be more likely to support than a conservative. Now it gets tricky, because if you say liberals like big government, conservatives like small government, it depends on where. Because there are many conservatives who like small government in the economy, but would want the government to intervene in terms of social issues. This is a pretty good chart of general principles of liberals and conservatives. Liberals are the left, conservatives are the right. For the most part, however, remember when we talk about the political spectrum, liberals encompass far left and center, right? Most American political parties are somewhere in the middle. When it comes to conservative and liberal belief, there are four spectrums, four spheres, or dimensions, if you will, to belief. There's economic policy, taxing, spending, government regulation in the economy. Generally speaking, liberals are for a liberal who is an economic liberal wants more government intervention in the economy. By the way, you can find this stuff in your red book. I believe it's at the beginning on page 9 or so, and there's also a handout that you can print of this as well. So this is an economic conservative. Free market, government shouldn't interfere too much, government should guarantee economic freedom. Social policy different. A social liberal wants you to stay the heck out of our private life. The exception is probably laws promoting individual safety. Conservatives, particularly social conservatives, want the government to sort of rein in on morals every once in a while. One of the things that I remember as a kid was the discussion on whether or not to reinstitute public prayer in public schools. A social liberal would say, no, it's not the government's job to regulate religion. A social conservative said the government should maintain a moral obligation, has a moral obligation to do this. When we talk about security, we're talking about sometimes individual security. We're also talking about international security. Crime, punishment, and of course, international affairs. Conservatives are generally a little bit more hawkish, strong military, back up any diplomacy with a threat to action. How do liberals and conservatives see federal state government? Generally speaking, liberals have a more federal view of things. The federal government should be supreme. Federal government should be more active. Conservatives, remember, like de-evolution, states' rights. State governments are closer to the people. We're going to go ahead and entrust them to make the more popular decisions, the more important decisions. This is an interesting chart. Generally speaking, what do Americans identify themselves at? In this 2009 poll, it says most Americans tend to self-identify as conservatives. Some liberal, well, very liberal, but many Americans identify themselves as moderate. What does this mean? This means that for the most part, you have a great many Americans in the middle. They have some liberal views, they have some conservative views. They might be liberal socially, but conservative economically. That is why there is so much overlap between the beliefs of the two parties today. Remember, ideology is not political party. We're going to talk about political parties separately. The reason we confuse them is we always say, okay, the Republicans are the conservatives, the Democrats are the liberals. But ideology and party is different. There's overlap in ideology. And that would mean we'd have to decide what party to join. If I am a social liberal, but an economic conservative, which party am I better off in? It depends. So what did you learn today? Bottom line, ideology can be different for different dimensions, whether it's economic, social, national security. More Americans are not that are in the middle. They are not far left or far right. Watch this again if you have any questions. Take a look at the handouts, particularly the handouts on basic policy for liberals and conservatives. And that's it.